Okay, today on the smoker we're going to do some pork tenderloins. I picked these up at my local grocery store and I think they're going to turn out just great. One of them we're actually going to use a Weber brown sugar rub. See how that turns out. The other one is just going to be a standard GSP, garlic, salt, and pepper. So hopefully they'll turn out great. First thing we got to do is open them up, smear them down with a little olive oil to help all that seasoning stick. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll be back here in a minute. Alright, so we got a nice rub of olive oil on our meat, so now we're going to start with our seasonings. I think the one in the front of the camera angle, we're going to use the Weber Smoky Brown Sugar Rub. It's a new rub, I hadn't tried it, so we're going to see how that works. And like I said, the back one, we're just going to do general GSP, garlic, salt, and pepper. So let's go ahead and start with the Weber seasoning on the front one. You want to just get a nice, even coat. You can go overboard with the seasonings, and I'm terribly known for doing that, so I'm going to try not to overdo it on this one. But just a nice, general, even coating. We'll roll it over and get the other side. I gotta tell you, you really can smell the brown sugar in this. It's almost like a fresh pack of bacon being opened. And we'll go ahead and get the sides too. We want to make sure we get good coating over all the meat because that's going to develop your nice crust. Oops, a little too much. It's alright, maybe it'll burn off. And I always like for the top side to just go back and just get a little bit more coating on it. It's probably how I over season, but the presentation just looks better to me. Alright, so now that we've got that one done, we're going to take care of the one on the back side with just the garlic, salt, and pepper. Got it all over that. Now we're just going to roll it back over. Do the same thing on all four sides. Make sure we got good, even coating. You're a little bit out of camera view there. The good thing about a garlic, salt, pepper mix is no matter what you're putting it on, it's going to enhance the flavor. We use it primarily on a lot of our beef because it brings out the flavor of the beef, in my opinion, so much better. There are good rubs for beef, but you can't go wrong with GSP. We also did a lot in our sides. Green beans we did last night. Actually used just straight butter, garlic, salt, and pepper, and they turned out great. And there we have it. 2 tenderloins ready to go on the smoker. I'm fixing to go set it up. We are going to be using a slow and sear today. When we get out there, I'll show you that product. In my opinion, it's a great product. I've used it in my Weber ever since I got it. You can find links all over the internet for it. I know David from Adrenaline Barbecue, it's his company. He has videos all over YouTube about it. Justin with Baby Back Maniac, he also has a lot of videos that go in depth showing you how to set it up. I will do a slight setup, but not anything as in depth as what David and Justin have done, just simply because everybody has done it. So, alright, I will get back with you when we go to set these out on the smoker. Alright, here we are with the Weber Performer. I'm going to show you how to set up a slow and sear real quick. There's more detailed videos, of course, David with Adrenaline Barbecue and Justin of Baby Back Maniac. But this is your basic slow and sear. It has a charcoal reserve right here, a water pan that does hold 1 quart of water. And what that does is when the charcoal is heating the side of this, it actually causes the water to steam and give you a moist cooking environment. And then of course we got some wood chunks to throw on the coals and a fire starter in the corner. And what I'm going to do is just take the coals and stack them around the fire starter. What you want to do is make sure you leave enough of a gap for there to be some airflow. That way your coals burn evenly. And I just stack these all around, making sure I'm leaving my gaps. Just like that. Now, once these coals get started and they're burning, we'll fill up the reserve, put our wood chunks on top, and then that'll give us our smoking action. So let's go ahead and light that starter. And then we'll just come in from the bottom. That's why you also want to leave a little gap so you can get your fire to your fire starter. And it just helps the charcoal catch and burn more evenly. So while that's going, we're going to let that get going nice and good until those coals are hot, and then we'll come back and fill up this reserve. And you want to use about a cup. Your average starter chimney, about almost to the top, a little bit of space, maybe about that much of a gap from the top, and that'll be plenty for a cook of this size. You know, 2 pork tenderloins probably take a couple of hours, no big deal. I have gone doing ribs with a 3-2-1 method and a full stack of chimney, and it is plenty. So I will get back with you once these coals get white hot. Alright, so here we are back at the Weber Performer. You can see the coals are white hot and they just kind of collapsed into themselves. You have a sheet of tinfoil down here to collect all the drippings. I know some people use a water pan, but with the way this slow and sear works with the water in here, you really don't need it on something like this. If I were doing a brisket or, you know, something like that, some pulled pork, I would definitely put me a pan of water underneath there. But we got a quart of water here that is hot. I did microwave it for about 5 minutes just to pour it into the slow and sear, because this is going to be hot and you're going to have some kind of splattering going on. So just protect yourself, get a good glove, and be as careful as you can. See what I mean? And there you go, 1 quart of water. So now that we got our water in the slow and sear, we're just going to add the charcoal. Like I said, 1 chimney should be plenty to do this kind of a cook. And I didn't even use the whole chimney. So what you want to do is just kind of spread things out. Maybe throw you a nice wood chunk right there at the fire. Then spread it out Put you a couple of chunks throughout. That way you get good smoke flavor at the initial start of the cook. And we got everything going now. The fire down there will catch this eventually. Start lighting things up, and then we can put the pork back on the grill whenever it comes back up to temperature. And I do have a ThermoPro to help kind of measure that. The leads are just kind of sitting off to the side right now, so that's why it's the same temperature. But we'll hook this up, get our barbecue grate up to temp, and then once we do all that, we'll come back and put the meat on, and we'll be ready to smoke. Alright, get back with you here shortly. Alright, we're back out here at the smoker. I'm just going to show you real quick. My probes are at about 232 internal temp of the barbecue. So that's right where I want to be at. I want to stay right around 230 to 250, somewhere around in there. 225 is ideal for low and slow. These should take just a couple of hours, so 230 is not going to be that bad. So let's go ahead and peel back the lid. Got some nice smoke action going on already. And like I said, here's the 2 pork loins. We got our smoky brown sugar right here, and we got our salt, garlic, and pepper mix right here. We're going to throw these on and then shut the lid down, let it do its magic, and then hopefully we'll be slicing up some good stuff. Get back with you in just a second. Alright, so we got both tenderloins on now. I got a meat probe in here in the thickest part of this tenderloin here. I was going to do it in this one since it's on the back edge, but there wasn't a whole lot of meat on this end compared to this end, so that's why I decided to run the probe there. We got the fire going nice and hot, smoke's rolling, so let's close this lid down and let it do its thing. Real quickly, I do want to mention the vents on the top. I got them about a quarter of the way open, somewhere between a third and a quarter, just to kind of keep that airflow. And then also down at the bottom, we are running about halfway open. I actually made these marks on my grill to know where my vents were at, because a lot of times if you're running a water pan or you got tinfoil in it like I do, you can't really see the vents to see how they're open. So this will definitely save you some time in the long run. I got a mark for a halfway open, 3/4 of the way open, and of course all the way open. Now right now we want to run it low and slow, so we're just going to knock it down to about half, a little under half, just to keep the airflow on the bottom coming in, let that smoke get trapped under the dome, and just have it lightly escaping. And you want that thin white smoke is what you want to be seeing. So we're going to let this roll for a couple hours. We'll constantly keep checking in on our probe. Right now, since the lid was open a while ago, it dropped down to 210. That should come back up around 230, 240. And then of course inside temperature of the meat, about 48 degrees. The probe was a little hot when I went into it. I do try to keep my meat in the refrigerator until I'm absolutely ready to bring it out, simply because it helps to develop more of a smoke ring if it's cold going into the smoker. So we'll come back and check on this in a couple hours, and hopefully we'll be slicing it up and getting into it. Alright, we're back out on the grill, and my internal temp hit 150 on both of these pork loins. So what I'm going to do now is just wrap them in this tin foil, let them go back under the grill just to kind of crisp up the outside. I like a nice crunchy exterior to mine. So we're going to dial down the vents just a little bit, let it get a good crispy ring on it, and hopefully we'll be carving it up. Alright, so here is our smoky brown sugar tenderloin and our garlic, salt, and pepper. We're just going to go ahead and cut these up, get a nice little peek at what's going on in the inside. And perfectly white, smooth, juicy. So we're going to carve this up, and this is what we're having for dinner. Hope y'all enjoyed this. If you like it, give me a comment, like, subscribe. Thank you very much.